know New York had like so Sbarro's was the best restaurant you've been to.
Zi-O. That's the best restaurant Joe said we were at.
That's the best restaurant that Joe's. Hey!
Welcome. Hey, you guys, I'm back.
Woo!
Oh, we lost. We always seem to lose somebody.
No, it's like one by one. We keep like disappearing.
Zach, tag
members.
you're in. Tag.
Yeah, tag. Okay, early warning. I won't be here next week. So
Always losing somebody. But you guys, thank you for joining us on your lovely Saturday night. Or is it? I mean, it's still Saturday.
It's Saturday night.
Saturday,
You're
even
right.
on
You're
East
right. You're
Coast.
right.
Your lovely
Unless
Saturday
you're watching
night.
this like after it
Oh, yeah,
aired.
maybe. Whatever time you're
Whatever.
watching it.
But if you're watching it now, it's Saturday night.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us on Henshin Hangout. Henshin Hangout.
The spacing's a little different here,
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm not
different.
as wide.
Yeah, we're actually at Manhattan Beach Studios at the Comic Book. It's a little bit quieter because the Comic Book has a 24-hour comic book day.
Yeah, I actually have friends working on their 24-hour comic book right now.
So it's 24 hours for them to write to work on their comic.
To come up with an idea, write it, design the characters, do the thumbnails, draw it,
That's
ink
interesting.
it, and they got to finish it by they started today at noon, finish it by tomorrow at noon.
Oh my god.
They are so. I already seen one of my buddies, and he's already like,
Dude,
I
so
don't know where
they're
I'm at.
just like on like energy drinks and coffee. I saw they had like coffee pots that they kept filling up. So that's exciting. So thank you to Manhattan Beach for hosting us in this new venue. It's pretty nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
feel like I've seen a lot of YouTube streams in our scenario that
Yes.
looks like this, so I feel
Definitely.
like this is even like we're really part of the YouTube
Yes, YouTube. Hello.
YouTube community. Hi guys, who do we got in the chat right now?
Oh, who do we got? Let's see. We have DDT, David. We have Nightman sticking around. He said, so Nightman earlier before the show even started, he goes, all right, boys, I got a buzz. So make me laugh this hour. Dude, that's too much pressure,
Man,
dude.
I don't know.
I don't we're not stand-up comics.
I'll try, dude. We'll try.
I mean, you were a stand-up comic once, right?
I was on a stage at a stand-up club.
But you
Does
didn't have a set?
No, I didn't have a set. I just stood there with, hey, make it look like I had a set, and then I did this face.
Okay. At least
Anyway,
you're telling the truth. That's cool.
That's me being truthful.
Oh, we got the cool guy. I love the cool guy's little, he's got Boy Meets World over there. It is actually the 25th anniversary of Boy Meets World.
Wow,
if you
that
didn't know.
and Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Isn't
that crazy?
It's a mighty year for the 90s.
I know. And actually in New York, they had 3 of the cast members there, and I wanted a picture so bad because it's fucking great.
You took a lot of photos with other cool people.
Yeah, I mean, other people that came to us.
That's
It was just like, even going downstairs to the actual convention was a pain in the butt because it was so cramped. It was just like, I'm just going to stay here and not do anything.
Who else we got in there?
We also have Layla. Layla says Jezzer should be a voice actor.
Aw.
Oh, thank you. I don't have much versatility in that department. Decamaster fan is in here, and Ali Torius. Sorry if I murdered your name, but sorry about that. But yeah, oh man. So I had to watch 2 episodes of each.
Right.
So
Catch
it
up
was
story-wise.
and which is for later on we'll talk about Kamen Rider Zi-O, but which is good because it's a 2-parter.
Yes. Yeah.
You think that's what they're gonna do the whole rest of the
I think
season?
the whole season will be 2-parters.
Yeah.
And they used to do that regularly. You know, even when for me, when I started watching Fourze, they were all 2-parters. And then the seasons before that, Double and O's. And I think, Decade 2, they were all 2-parters. And I'm not sure when 2-parters became the norm, but for a long time, it was 2-parters up until Drive.
Nice.
Kamen Rider Drive was the one they broke the 2-parter rule again.
Did you think that it was better that way, or?
I think there's a positive and a negative to both. Sometimes I feel like, did that need to be 2 parts?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you should have probably stretched that to 2 parts. But do you want to start with Zi-O, or do you want to start?
Well, let's start with Lupat because it was a little more lighthearted. It was a little fun from the previous episode where they got the Magnum gun, where they had that was actually a great episode. I didn't get to speak with you guys about it, but that was a great episode because you kind of saw as far as the red, yellow, and blue, who really wants to get this done,
And what Kyrie's willing to do.
what he's willing to do, which is scary.
Yeah.
And so one theory, before we start this episode, one theory I had, when they had the thief have a little glimpse, who do you think he looked like?
What do you think? What you got? Yeah,
He looked like Kiichiro.
I could see that.
So I mean, imagine that. Imagine if this whole time he's playing straight, playing this Patranger, but he's actually the the thief. I mean, it's not so far off to think that an actor like that could be that diverse as far as like how his character is going to play out. But I mean, that's just all speculation. I have no idea. I just thought from the silhouette of it kind of looked like him with the hat and the whole getup.
Interesting. Okay. So, I see that Cool Guy pointed out that the two-parters started with Den-O. And you know what, you're right. With Gaim, they didn't do two-parters too much Gaim. They were more like arcs. So that's fair. Anyway.
See, look.
Oh, see. You know what? There's a little bit of Keicho's hair.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And then
also shout out to producer Nagami for getting these right away.
He's like, what do you do? You like go on Google? I want a picture of this guy, or he
backlogged all
he
these.
backlogged. But yeah, I mean, going into this episode, which was also a fun episode because we get to dive into a little bit of Kogure.
It's a Kogure episode.
Definitely.
That's kind of cool. I didn't expect to have an episode about the mysterious
Yeah.
butler benefactor guy.
With these three guys at the bottom, do you think they're triplets or it's they did like special effects?
I believe it's twins.
You think it's twins?
At least twins, and then the third one was a special.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on in this episode. There's a gangler who has the ability to split people into three, and the three kind of personalities. Well, two personalities. There's the normal person.
Normal personality.
And then one side is
the fears or the kind of like timid version of them, and then
the nice version.
Yeah, the nice version.
And the other one's kind of like the bad
rebel,
one.
the rebel one. Which
I
love those versions. That's the best version.
Those are always fun. So yes, it's a Kogure centered episode, and that's kind of neat about that. Up until this episode, what were your thoughts on Kogure? How'd you feel about the character?
I mean, I still think he's still a little bit of a shady motherfucker.
There's something going on.
There's something wrong with this guy.
Eyes.
But I mean, we'll get to it. But there were some scenes in this episode where you kind of feel a little bit. I think it's more so that he's not shady. It's just that he's ignorant to some things that are actually going on. But this episode was fun because. You got to see one kind of dickish thing that Lupin Red did is like he saw that after all the rebellious versions of these people that got split started attacking the Patrangers, he saw that they got attacked by them, and then he's just like, all right, bye. he just dipped. He's like, they'll be fine. It's fine.
He does totally duck out. I do kind of like the fact that again, this is actually a Patranger light episode.
Yeah,
and I think
again.
Yeah, but you know what? This is. I kind of like their answer is, they're busy.
Actually, yes, because they give them a reason for why they're not in the episode, and they show what they're doing.
Yeah, no, the fact that it's like they're being cops. They're doing their job.
They're doing.
Super chat! 1987.
He goes, "What if the butler is Aka Red?"
Oh, you want to pull that card on me?
Wait, what?
Aka Red is a character that was. Let me point. How do I describe Aka Red? Okay. I guess he represents.
What series?
Well, that's the other weird part. He doesn't have a series. Okay. I guess technically Patrangers where he made an appearance.
Okay, which is Operation Overdrive.
Which is Operation Overdrive. But I guess his deal is he represents the spirit of Sentai.
Okay.
And he shows up every anniversary year after the 30th anniversary, which is Patranger. Okay. He shows up for the anniversary year, so at 30. He was one of the main characters. He was a huge character in Gokaiger.
Ooh.
Actually. And he showed up for any Zyuohger specials because Zyuohger was the 40th anniversary of the show. So is the butler Aka Red?
He looks cool.
I don't know. That's an interesting theory.
I like how you can put him right in the middle. That's awesome.
Yeah, right in the middle. Is this Kogure?
Kogure.
I don't know.
He kind of let himself go a little bit.
I don't know. We can find out. We'll find out.
Well, we'll see. What do you call it? DDT says, "How can you hate him? Not ignorant. He knows he's putting Lupinrangers in bad situation. He knows he's putting them in a bad situation, but he hasn't visually seen like what they're sacrificing to get the work done. And in this episode, we get to see that. But but before we get started, like really jump in. Yeah, the civilians get split into three, and I think this is a fun episode.
It's a fun episode. I think what's kind of cool about this episode is the idea that like, what elements we've seen of Kogure so far, and kind of exploring what he can, what he is by his two other halves.
Yeah. So it's a great.
So we have uber nice Kogure.
Yes.
And I love that hat. Never not wear that hat. I think it's a good look for you.
I love when he's like saving this one kid and I think he like sprains his ankles. He's like,
yeah. And that's the thing. It's that like Umika and Toma finally find him, and they see that he's like roughed up a bit, and they're kind of wondering why. And they realize
he's helping people cross the road.
He's helping. That's his problem. He sacrifices himself first before to help people.
Yeah.
Which means he injures himself quite a bit because all he's doing is helping people the whole day.
And then of course he's gonna be wearing like a clean ass white.
Yeah.
Like, really, if you're gonna be getting down and dirty, you gotta get something that won't show. You gotta you gotta wear your brown pants.
No. And for him, and he's definitely. Where did you get that hat, by the way, Kogure?
It's a nice hat. It's definitely a nice hat. He looks like he's gonna go to a tea party or something.
He does. Very fancy.
With that lady right there.
Yeah.
I think he found his first love. But some of like his facial expressions are great in this episode.
It's really good
because we really don't see a lot of emotion out of him because he's just so proper and he kind of just like pops in out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had a few jokes like, "You're coming through the front door," you know?
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Where in this episode where he did kind of come through the front door and everyone's like, "Whoa, what the? That's so not you. What is going on?" Hey, it's Jim Carter there, by the way. Who doesn't love Jim Carter?
I love Jim Carter. Except when Jim Carter was being a butthole that one episode.
Which
when
one?
the kids came in.
Oh, yeah. He was being like uber, like babysitter times 10.
Yeah.
So this is good Kogure, but where's
bad Kogure?
Where's bad Kogure?
Oh, man. This was a fun scene because we had Kairi kind of just walking. And then he's like, whoa.
Kogure is killing it with the hats.
Yeah. And the suit is great.
I love this. No, he is okay. So I have a little personal like headcanon about this Kogure.
All right, what?
I believe
that
when Kogure was in his youth,
he was
like a biker guy like this guy.
Yeah,
this is who he probably was, and like. My headcanon is when he was young, he was probably this kind of a guy. Mm-hmm. A biker kid, kind of a troublemaker.
Mischievous.
And then one day...
something happens.
He meets Arsène Lupin.
Ooh.
And Arsène Lupin teaches him to be a gentleman, teaches him to be proper. And he became Lupin's, like, main guy.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like is what combined... These two pieces combined into a... Sorry, juxtapose.
What's wrong?
Amazing. It's just like juxtaposing all three is kind of cracks me up here. But it's like these two elements combine into Kogure as like a guy who's willing to put himself first.
Yeah.
And to be a bit reckless while doing so sometimes because you have to kind of be a little reckless.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're in crime. Yeah. More or less.
One fun scene that I had. So they had. The Patrangers have been collecting the three people, and you're trying to figure out, well, how are they gonna fix this? Right, and they had a fun scene where they had the three dudes from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they're just like pushing him towards each other. They're just like, laughing so hard because their faces are just like, it's not working.
I'm kind of wondering who was the first person they realized this is how to do it.
Wait, time out. What if this was actually the first person?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not working.
It's like that makes sense actually too. Where it's like they're like, let's literally try pushing them into each other.
You know what would have been fun if they had a little montage of them doing this for everybody. It's just like, what's that? Benny Hill's like, and then just see people going,
This also goes into my theory that it's twins they've cast.
Oh yeah, because of the shot.
Because of the shot and how close they literally put their heads next to each other.
Finding triplets is really hard. They had like a casting call. It's like, we're looking for triplets. At the least, twins.
At the least, twins. I think you're more likely to find twins than triplets.
Yeah, it's like, triplets, you're going to get paid better, but twins, because they have to spend the other money to recreate another version of them.
Right.
But anyways.
Anyway, that's why the Patrangers are currently not available for this episode.
Because, I would love like a quick, it doesn't even have to be that long. This is a montage of them just squeezing all these people together.
Imagine all the awkwardness where you'll have just some people go like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do?
It's like, wait, or a scene where there's like, where they got two people, but this other person's isn't a triplet, and it's like, What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Where it's like, that's not me.
You just look a little bit like him. There's also something to be said about the fact that Kogure's other halves had time to get new wardrobes.
Yes. Well, these guys didn't. They're like, fine, I'll look like you, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a few friends that are twins, and one of their main goals is to not look like they're twins.
No, yeah.
You know, not look like their other half. I mean, obviously, they're not twins or triplets.
I have to point out, like, there's one set of twins I do know, and I will not reveal their names, but I will say that every time I see them,
same thing?
They dress so similar, and they have very similar hairstyles. So every time I see them, my brain does the which one is it? Which one is it?
It's like time stops. Like, okay, no, she's leaning a little bit more to her left. That could be.
It's usually when he speaks to me, then I'm like, oh, it's that one. Okay, cool. And so it cracks up every time. They were both in. Yeah, the rest of the time was at Morphicon, and literally I'm like, crap.
Wait, there are twins at Morphicon?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That probably narrowed it down, but
that probably narrowed it down.
Yeah,
anyway.
but
I love, like, how come every time, like, Kairi would bring one Kogure, and he'd be on his back?
I think that's just his way of just like, I have to carry you to make sure.
They're always on his back. It's like, they can't walk. They have feet.
I feel like Nice Kogure was so injured that they had to carry him in over there.
But then how about him?
Oh, because he wouldn't probably go with it anyway.
He's just being a butthole.
He's being a butthole. Look at him. Put me down.
Kairi looks happy.
Side note, can I point out Kairi saying "whoa lame" is like, to him, he's looking at Kogure's bad boy version. And he's like, ugh, okay.
I was like, God.
All right, granddad.
Just imagine, like, your parents are like, they're wearing like hip clothes and they're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to be cool. It's like, hey look, Justin, look, dab.
No. Oh.
That's the embarrassment that Kairi is feeling right now.
I remember the year my mom
Dab.
was singing Gundam Style, and I went, and it's finally over.
You need to learn a new song.
Once she sang that song, I went, and the song's over.
You need to
now.
learn a new song.
We're done.
It's like, I'm gone.
It's like, well, that stopped being cool now.
Yeah, I think that's his exact reaction. It's like gross. And then he turned around and was like, I heard that, mother.
Yeah, he was very much like, how dare
angry.
you? And of course, the guy's butt kicked real quick.
No, he didn't actually fight him. He just kind of moved out of the way.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean that's why he. Still pretty pathetic that way. Okay, so what happens after this? They grab them, but Kogure.
What the hell did you say, punk?
Oh, it's so sad. He's trying.
He looks cool though.
He does look cool, but it's also like, oh, granddad, please stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Okay.
Oh yes, the
Kogure disappears.
Regular Kogure and the nice one had a little conversation.
Yeah.
And comes to a realization that he needs to like help out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see this coming at all. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah, okay.
I had no idea. I
What
thought
about
maybe
it?
this guy was just another triplet or something. And I was like, but then they had that, the Lupinrangers pulled him aside, and they had that look. They had that glare. They gave him a look, and they knew exactly who it was. It was really sweet. It was really sweet.
It was really cool, and yeah, definitely like kind of furthering the kind of like danger he's willing to put himself in. And, which again is much like Nice Kogure, to just do the right thing, and a little bit of recklessness, which is what punk Kogure on the purple bike was, you know, and that's kind of nice. Like, oh yeah, no, they even, as you can see here with their faces looking, I'm like, wow, you are better than we thought you were.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, do you think they had like this misconception of him before, or do you think they're still a little worried of what his intentions are?
I think this is what's interesting about this episode, right?
Okay.
Like, I think even with their relationship with each other, they always keep some stuff in out of reach of everyone else's knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't really tell each other everything. This is why I think they're really fascinating Sentai team. Is that like they don't really know each other's personal lives.
It's only what you need to know is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
Only what you need to know.
And what's kind of nice about this episode is that for Kogure, I'm sure they've kept him even further because he's the mysterious benefactor with the mysterious mission and
definitely.
And the crazy proposal. But what's nice about this episode is that because Kogure got the split, and funny enough, other Sentai shows, that split thing could have actually happened to one of them. right? That would have been a totally...
the Goody does that thing where they split the Red Ranger into 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they could have expanded,
they could have
split
actually.
into 3 and then have the Red Ranger and then they split into 3. That's 9 of them.
We didn't get there. Yeah. But no, generally this is a plot that would have been utilized for one of the Sentai members, either Lupin or Pat. But it's given to Kogure, and this is actually one of those cases where it's like Kogure is kind of more open to we're more open to the truth of Kogure, which is whatever his intentions are, they're not super dark yet, but he's certainly someone who's doing his best to do some right things despite his shady past, possibly, which is kind of their whole deal, right? Including Noelle, from what we can tell. I mean,
there's also a dynamic between Noelle and Kogure where they don't necessarily trust each other, but they're using each other, benefiting off of each other.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the 35th episode. So we're more than halfway through. Shouldn't we be getting some of these storylines that kind of expand on their past?
I would agree to that, and that's something that the show is kind of dragging its feet a little bit on.
Especially with the Patrangers, though we don't have much on them, and there's so much. I feel like there's more to Hilltop. I feel like there's more to Carter. There's so many characters in this series that they haven't really expanded on what's going on with their lives. We haven't really expanded on the ganglers or Zumiga.
I agree with that.
There's so many different things that they still need to expand on, and being 35 episodes in, I feel like they're losing time.
They are, and we'll see what happens. They still got like 15, 16 episodes possibly to go. I don't have to get direct numbers in front of me, but that's something they have to accomplish real soon. Hey, you want to talk about that robot fight at the end?
Oh, you mean Megatron? Megatron that came in. So in the first episode, I was talking with our producer Nagami this morning. In the first episode, I did think that the gun Magnum was going to be a weapon.
Right.
I did. And then when he was using it, he kind of just got propped up on his hand. The Red Ranger got propped up on his hand, and he shot the gun from there, which Nagami pointed out, it destroyed a mountain.
Right.
But in this episode, I don't know if there's like a setting on it. It's like, let me turn this down to 1 because we don't need to be that vicious with a kill. Like if you could take out a mountain with a blast like that, imagine what you could do while you're like on the ground fighting these regular monsters. Right. You could obliterate them. You could kill them kind of like how Dark Phoenix did in X-Men 3 where
You're really dropping X-Men 3 on me?
I'm sorry. That's the molecular disintegration of a human being is what I'm imagining the power of this gun to be.
Right.
Like that. I do love was it a blimp? The blimp mode of this where he just has kind of like a Mickey Mouse hand.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's OP too much. So
imagine
Yeah.
A blast that's so strong like that, he should be flying back or something,
right,
falling out of that hand. But I meant, so he's on the ground and he's shooting a bunch of these monsters. They should be destroyed. It should be like it's not like a Desert Eagle or anything. It's more like a freaking grenade launcher or something. It's the impact of this blast is just ridiculous, and it's not consistent, but it's fine. It's fun.
It's fine. Yeah.
One cool thing though that we do get to see is it's not just a gun. He kind of like throws it off and it transforms into like a Megatron-ish G1 where he's like a robot.
Oh, he's a cool looking robot.
He's a cool looking robot too. He was just kind of like gliding through.
Oh my god.
That was probably my favorite part of this episode.
I know how hard it is to move in those suits. So anytime a robot could just like even bend its knees.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
One of my favorite bots is the robot from Deca Ranger, the main robot from Deca Ranger or SPD. And I love when he always crouches with his gun. He hides behind buildings.
Which robot is
the
that?
Megazord in SPD.
Oh yeah.
I love how he can always crouch and hide behind walls like a
cop. Yeah.
And it's so cool. It's like I love it when giant robots act like the genre they're in.
It's nice.
It's nice. Like in Shinkenger or Samurai. It's like, hey, look, let's just do a samurai scene with a giant robot.
As far as aspect ratio, he's smaller than the regular Megazord.
It looks like it.
Is he the size? Would you say he's the size of the Rangers or no? Producer Nagami.
Yeah,
he's fighting.
Yeah.
So he's about maybe 5'11", 6 foot tall.
He looks super cool.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
I'm just like
cool.
just blown away how cool he looks.
Because he was just kind of like going through the sewers, like, yeah, I'm coming, I'm gonna get you, blast, blast, ga ga ga, you know, just getting everybody.
Some people were expecting him to be a battleizer, which I understood, like being in armor, but I don't know. I kind of dig this.
I kind of dig like this secondary, like this robot monster that they have with him. Not a monster, but robot companion. Mm-hmm. Well, he could still possibly be a
battleizer.
Possibly, it's a possibility.
It's not out of the question.
But it's not needed.
Not needed.
It's not needed.
It ain't needed.
It ain't needed. I mean, honestly, if they don't need the magnum gun, they don't need the boomerang anymore. They don't need the bow. They don't need anything.
So much gasoline.
They don't need anything. They just need the gun.
Like, it's a lot of gasoline. Yeah. Not as much as like the fourth episode of Joe, but there's a lot of gasoline drop.
But yeah, I mean, it's
Nagami wants it to be a T-shirt. Watch.
So much gasoline.
So much gasoline.
So what's the story behind that for?
Oh, because that was from last episode of Joe, where like it's just all that fire explosion behind the Fourze armor. It's just we were like, criminy.
It's
engulfed in flames.
Whoever was selling them their gas, they're just like, oh man, this TV show just hit me up. They want for big explosions. I'll charge them like $7 a gallon or 700 yen a gallon.
What show is it? I don't know, some Sentai. Oh man, they're gonna be using you.
There's gonna be so much explosions. That's what I did love about the. Is it the Disney era? Mm-hmm. They probably use so much propane and so much gasoline because it's just explosions.
I'm just shocked that New Zealand doesn't smell like gasoline right now.
He's like, when you're in New Zealand, you're walking. He's like, all right. Once you get to a point where you smell like propane and that noise, run the other way. Run the other way.
They're probably filming Power Rangers.
They're filming something and you have no idea what they're filming. It's just going to explode.
Also, this reaction with the Power Rangers is pretty great.
Oh, I love this. I love like how the Patrangers are just like, what's going on? Yeah. Like, what's happening? They're so out of their element right now.
Is this still our show right now?
They just like midway through, like the next episode, Lupinranger versus Patrangers just changed to Lupinranger. Because that's what I mean, come on. I mean, I'm hoping that they change it up a little bit, give them a little bit. Oh, okay.
Well, it looks like he grew up a little bit here.
A little bit. Yeah. So it's the whole thing. It's a whole Megatron thing where like, oh, he'll change. What's that? Shifting. That thing where
what's Nagami
mass shifting.
Yeah. We talked to our Transformer expert in the room. It's mass shifting.
Where like he turns into this big gun, but now he's the size of Megatron. It doesn't make any sense. But
mass displacement.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's kind of what he was doing in this episode. That's pretty much the design that they had for this, where usually Starscream grabs Megatron and starts shooting the gun.
That always makes me laugh because it's like Starscream's like the second in command, but he has to hold his boss in his hand.
I gotta hold you. I gotta shoot you.
I have to deal with your crap, and I also have to freaking do your job. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Transformers. Here to talk about this robot and this gun.
But
it's not that much of a difference.
No, it's not that much of a difference.
I know. Okay, so pointing. Okay, yeah, there's a big difference between holding the gun-sized gun, the robot-sized gun.
Okay.
And then Lupin Red, who's just normal size, and like the power coming out of Lupin Red.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But if Toy's watching and I don't know if you're watching this episode, but please, can we have episodes where Lupin Red is just shooting them with this Magnum, and then the people I want different I just want them to disintegrate, just something crazy, and then you get Umika and Toma. They're just like, what did you do? It's like, what are you doing?
Just you don't have to delve too much into it. Just them going, criminy.
He's like, that's too much, man.
No. Well, even then Kyra would be like, okay, maybe I'll just put the gun away for a little bit.
But he's got power now. I was like, oh man, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna start shooting random shit. Imagine going to the shooting range and then people are just like, what the hell?
Oh, I would totally. I should just buy this toy and bring it to.
I do want this toy though.
I want to buy this toy and then bring it to a shooting range to see how many people give me dirty looks.
Like if it actually worked.
Like pretend there's like a recoil. It's like bang.
This episode should just be called "That's a Big Damn Gun."
And this episode of Lupin, it's titled That's a big damn gun.
This episode of Lupinrangers Patranger is brought to you by Red Magnum. It will blow you away. Anyways, going back to that.
Anyway, go back to how's this wrap up?
This wraps up. They finish off the monster and they do the fun little Kogure. How do you say his name? Kogure smash thing, which is fun. I love that. I do really love
that is an
montage.
awkward situation everyone's involved in. Do you ever just imagine them looking at this moment and going, what happened to our lives?
And I was like, I thought we were collecting collection pieces.
I was going to be married. I just graduated high school. I was in a basketball team, and here we are
pushing this old man together against this other old man. But I really wish there was a little bit more interaction between the Lupinrangers and the Patrangers in this episode.
Sure.
In civilian form.
Sure.
Just because, we're... Like, where they come into the restaurant and, we're trying to find all these triplets. And it's oh, really? I mean, little things like that.
Right.
But I'm being picky. But overall, I did enjoy this episode.
I think it's a fun
Yeah,
app.
I did enjoy this episode. I would say it's so sweet. Momika's so sweet. I just want to hug her and just, I don't know. I just want to take her out for coffee and talk about how nice her life is.
Should you start wearing green and should I call you Sakuya? Is that the deal right now?
Maybe.
That's fair.
If I was a character, I probably might be that character. Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Anyways.
What would you rate this episode?
Out of 7 Lupin Patrangers, I would say this is a decent 4.5.
I'll give it a 4.5. I'll give it a 5. I enjoyed it.
How about you folks right out there? What
tell
do you got?
Tell us. Oh my God, the lighting
is really
beautiful.
It's there's that bounce of the white.
I know,
All of a sudden we're glowing.
I know, we're glowing.
We're glowing.
Oh, let's see.
What do we got? Anybody
in the chat? We'll give them a little time to respond. But sure. I did enjoy this episode. Nightman says 3 out of 5, 3 butlers.
3 out of 3 butlers. That's
3 out of 3.
Full...
Yeah, that's all. 100%.
It's 100%.
Litoris says 3 out of 5 should have been an earlier episode. I agree.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that. Should have been an earlier episode. 5.5 out of 7. That's a good one. 6 out of 7 for Kogure. Cramp Stomp says 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And Ryan Earl Thomas, haven't seen you in a while, Ryan.
5 out of 5.
Dang. So the general consensus is that it's a good episode.
It's a pretty good episode. It's a fun app.
I do agree with Altoris that this could have been placed earlier. Mm-hmm. Who knows? It might have been.
That's a good.
It might have been definitely. I mean, Noelle's in it, so it has to because a lot of times they kind of mix up episodes, but it might have been.
And I guess the thing too, for me, it's sometimes with information like this in a show like this, where it's if there's enough going around that I'm interested in, information that's dropped in this episode, doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, I mean, it could have been if they could have played this stuff a lot earlier. Mm-hmm. But I know that it's no secret that of the trio, I've been more into the show longer than you and Johnny at certain points, and I found more enjoyment throughout the show more than you two at certain points. So I was cool with this doesn't bother me. There's another show. There's another show where I actually was around episode 30 to 35 where they dropped this really big important information about the character's backstory.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I liked the show but annoyed with the show and I'm like, this could have been told in episode 20.
Yeah.
So I can make the argument. Yes, I agree. This could have been told a little bit earlier. But you know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
At least he did the work.
One another fun part of this episode towards the end that I really loved is when Kairi was mocking Kogure. Where he gets the chair, he's like, oh, super chat, Nightman87, thank you so much. He says, maybe this is setting up for the final story and fight. Maybe. And there's a lot. Here's the thing. When we... Thank you for that super chat, Nightman87.
Nightman87, that's why it's a good point to bring up, actually, is the idea that, these shows... what show is that, Blackwing? Hold on. These shows, that's the thing. Sometimes I look forward to when we get to that chunk we're ramping up to the end, and sometimes I wonder how much time they're going to give it to really earn all these storylines they've set up. For me personally, I know not everyone will agree, but for me personally, and it's probably because it's my very first Sentai. I actually never said this first Sentai show I finished, and that was Kyoryuger, which became Dino Charge.
Dino Charge, yes.
So that one, those last 10 episodes of Kyoryuger, I thought were amazing. And the way they built up to the finale blew me away. And I'm like, whoa, that's incredible. And they did a really good job of setting it up. And so to me, in a weird way, I almost compare the last 10 episodes of a Sentai show to those episodes of Kyoryuger.
That's your basis.
That's my basis of what I like. Because like, if they found a way to build, set up, and then paid off.
Yeah.
So much in the by the time they got to the end. So here, there's a lot of things that Lupin has to set up and finish off.
Definitely.
Like Samigo, I agree. Like
Samigo, the ganglers, the hierarchy of the ganglers. Noel's.
Yeah, who's gonna be the big? Who's gonna be the
exactly,
guy? Who's gonna be the boss that takes over?
They just keep teasing it. He's still around. It's like, what's the point? Why you keep teasing? Oh,
yeah.
I need a successor. I need a successor. But you're still around. Why do you need a successor?
Yeah, I agree. And it's like it would have been like right now we needed someone who's like a real challenger.
Yeah. What's the story behind the binoculars? Why is everybody so scared of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so maybe we'll get to that point. Not next episode. I think next episode's another fun one.
Oh my god! I enjoy the fun episodes, but
right.
I want some storyline. I want
Yeah. Oh, and that show Blackwing is Kamen Rider Zi-O. Kamen Rider, just not Kamen Rider Zi-O. Sorry, Kamen Rider O's.
Okay.
I like the show and I like the characters, but like
this one seems like this is the trailer for the next one. It seems like another filler.
It's another filler, so
I mean, we're gonna see some.
But it's Patranger.
Yeah,
but it's Patranger.
Yeah, there you go. We'll give him that, and you're gonna get to see like another side to Kiichiro, which is gonna be fun because he looks happy.
Someone also brought up in the message here like another show that's also a Sentai show that's actually celebrating its 25th.
Die Ranger,
and that's a huge show. As in terms of fact for Sentai, a lot of folks even say that's one of the pinnacles of the franchise. I haven't finished it, but I've seen the first 10 and it's really good.
Do you like Kiba Ranger?
We'll get to that.
Do you like Kiba Ranger?
No, you seem to get to that. It's a video out. There's a video about that.
You guys should check out that Kiba Ranger.
Yeah.
It's a great one.
You'll see what I feel. He was very nice when they met him.
Yeah. Bart Simpson of Power Rangers right there. But yeah, Die Ranger. I love the suits.
Those are my favorite suits. Those are my favorite Sentai suits.
Oh my god.
Far.
They're so great.
They're great. They're
because it's like kung fu. It's kung fu.
Yeah. Oh, the helmet designs. I love the use of the kind of where the silver for the helmet in the mouth.
Yeah.
Great.
I love it.
They all, Die Rangers. Happy 25th anniversary Power Rangers and Die Rangers and Boy Meets World. Yes. I never thought I would ever say a sentence like that in my lifetime.
Boy Meets World. But yeah, the scene that I liked towards the end of this episode is when Kairi is mocking Kogure, where he's like, oh, let's go. Where he gets on the chair and he's riding around on the chair.
Yeah, he's making fun of his.
We're gonna tear this up.
Oh,
yeah, there's so much fun episode. Such a fun episode. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, agreed. Now, all right, we have Kamen Rider Zi-O next.
Yeah.
Zi-O. How did you feel about the last episode? Because you weren't here for that.
Okay. The last episode was interesting because. I was under the impression it was just for the Another Rider was just Fourze. We got a really cool scene in this one, but the last episode was interesting because the dynamic between the three main characters is definitely changing.
Right.
Definitely changing. It's from the start of the season where they are not really the girl, but where Gaze and Sugo are not head to head, but Gaze hates him.
Right.
He's kind of warming up to him a little bit. He's seeing that maybe there's hope, and he has the power to change things.
Now, here's a question that I'm going to leave for you guys in the chat. I really do want to see the answers coming up from you folks. Who here has seen Kamen Rider Faiz and who here loves Kamen Rider Faiz? I'm just curious about that.
That reveal was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I remember Johnny last week. It cracked me up because I was shocked how much I enjoyed the episode. It's like I remember coming in last week going, "Oh, Johnny's gonna be happy. I like this episode."
And then he's like, "No, I hated this episode."
He's like, "I got problems with him." I went, "Oh man, Johnny, one day."
What did you really like about last?
Well, I mean, like I said last week's episode, there's a bias, there's a Fourze bias. So there's a lot of nods to Fourze that I liked and I enjoyed. I even liked, and some people in the chat apparently weren't feeling it the same way as me, but I had fun with what they did.
It seems like everybody says they've never seen Faiz.
Okay. Hasn't seen Faiz, won't.
It's a 2003 series.
It's a 2003 series.
Yeah.
So, and that's celebrating its 15th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
So no, I like that, but also I kind of felt like there was places they were taking Zi-O and Gates where I'm starting to I'm kind of warming up to you two a little bit.
A little bit, especially with Zi-O. I especially in this episode, it's like, all right, you're actually a fun guy.
You're a fun guy. You know what what just kills it for me is every time he mentions he wants to be a king.
Yeah,
and that
just
always reminds me what I don't like about the character.
And one thing also I've been focusing on that I didn't really notice is that I thought that Gates had like a lot of long sleeve shirts with like this big neck collar thing. No, he's wearing a separate piece.
Yeah.
The whole time. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Now, okay, you've zero information on Faiz and Fourze.
Yes.
So what did you think of this scene with this is Faiz's writer, Takumi. What did you think of him and his scene here with them at the house?
He's very broody. I love his hair though.
That is a good. Those are two ways to perfectly describe Takumi. He's very broody, and I do love his hair.
I do love that hair. He's got that.
A very quick, and I won't go too far. I mean, I think I saw Leia say she was watching. She watched first episodes of the show. Yeah. So I say Faiz is a very popular show among my friends.
Okay.
Very popular. And I've seen like 3 episodes of the show, and I think it's pretty cool. I will get around to doing like a full watch someday.
Yeah.
But I'll say what's kind of cool about the 3 episodes I end up watching was just the right episodes for me to go, hey, cool, you did that.
Okay.
And I'm not even a fan, but like, I recognize that as a nod to Faiz. Like even here, Takumi is like about ready to drink some coffee, and then he's like, ooh, too hot, because his character has a weird problem with heat, like hot drinks for his tongue. Okay. It's actually a problem. So much gasoline is not the problem here, Nagami.
That is a lot of gasoline.
I mean, that is a lot of gas.
That is a lot of gasoline. So is that the format? So when we going further with Zi-O, when we get a tease of which Kamen Rider they're going to be expanding on, should we watch? You think we should watch 2 episodes of the beginning? How to format that? I feel like we need a little bit because they're not really giving us much.
That is the problem with Joe, honestly.
They're not giving us like flashbacks or
no. Well, ironically they did do one flashback in this episode, more or less. But I'll get to that point in a minute. But like you're right, I think like with Gokaiger, I bring up Gokaiger a lot because Gokaigers are really good. If you've never seen the Sentai, don't worry about it. We'll just give you a cursory concept of the show. Definitely. And because of how much I liked said character in that appearance, made me want to go back to watch the Sentai show they came from. Yeah. Joe does seem like it needs homework.
It does. And I mean, they have those in between episodes, but they don't have that in there.
No, and it's not helpful. I mean, here's the thing. The fact that I've seen a couple episodes and know the history of these two. Right now you have on screen Takumi and Kasuka. Mm-hmm. And their relationship in Faiz does echo Zi-O and Gates' relationship.
Yeah.
In that the secondary writer really hates the main writer. Hates him. Mm-hmm. Thinks he sucks, and then they bicker and argue all the time. Whereas the main writer slowly starts developing a friendship, or they want to start developing a friendship with them. And the secondary writer literally just wants to flip them off and say, go to hell.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fitting, and it's been interesting in the fact that Fourze is a show about making friends. Faiz is central relationship is about these two guys who learn kind of how to get each other, but the other one's stubborn about his hate for the main guy. Mm-hmm. So weirdly enough, combining the two, because it also comes off as, we can't get our 2 main writers from Fourze, so we can't really do that this time. So what do we do here to celebrate? Combine the shows.
I did like that. It was like, so it was Fourze in the beginning, but really it was Faiz in the beginning.
Yes.
It was Faiz in the beginning, and he wanted more power. So it's 2 separate timelines.
Right.
Two separate timelines. So I got a little confused. They had the scene where Zi-O was fighting. Oh, another super chat from Toku Kid. He says maybe there'll be a Kajin Rider using A Riders. Maybe Kajin Rider.
That's interesting. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but like I was saying, like there's
interesting there. Yeah.
Thank you, Toku, for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
There was 2 timelines where Zi-O was fighting Fourze, and Gates was fighting
Ella Trey says, Takumi never wanted to be friends again. This is information I'm just gathering from what I've sort of got. Honestly, I've never finished the show. There's the flashback. So this is actually kind of cool.
Almost the same.
Well, here's the funny thing. Yes and no. Well, that's because that's him now.
Oh.
So here's the thing. This footage is clips from episode 2.
Okay.
Of Faiz.
All right.
And what's funny, I did just watch episode 2 of Faiz just to kind of get a better feeling of the show.
The suit looks cool.
And I was watching, the suit's great, yeah. So I remember watching that, and then I watched this episode, and I literally went, oh, hey, whoa, you're just using the clip from the show from 2003. But the twist is that, yeah, you put the current actor in a wig to make it look like him from back then, but you do put him in his outfit. So
yeah.
That's kind of
close enough.
That's why I figured, like, good enough. I get what you're trying to do.
Good enough.
I'll take it. And I was wondering what they were gonna do with shows like past 5, 6, 8 years ago.
Yeah, because this is 2003, so that's like 15 years ago. That's a long time.
So I was wondering, what are you gonna do about shows from like 2000 and like here 2003? And I guess the answer is, thankfully we have updated Blu-ray versions of these shows. So it'll.
And that's amazing that the quality of it's still like decent.
It does surprisingly match. You know, they did it, either they bumped it up more and they've worked with it to make it fit with the rest of the show, but it doesn't really stick out as footage from 2003. Yeah. It's actually pretty cool.
Or what if they're recreating the scenes?
It's definitely not a recreation. That is a fact.
But imagine
clip from the original episode. No, they might do that too.
Yeah,
Kuga, the first writer of this decade of the modern Heisei stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's like hella early 2000, so they have to really work hard to try to match up to that.
So footage. I mean, going further back into the past, they might have to recast. Like they'll have the older version of them, but they might have to cast younger versions of these actors,
or do what they did here and just slap a wig on.
Well, I mean, what if they're older? What if like people are gonna be able to tell the difference?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: I could tell the difference. Yeah. That's how I knew it's him right away. Because even I'm watching clips from Faiz recently, and I kept because I've seen Takumi in other writer crossovers.
Yeah.
So I've gotten used to his current face. So I'm watching episodes of Faiz, and all I kept saying while watching was like, "He's such a baby." Oh, he's so young.
You're such a
young baby boy.
It's like when we look at our old Facebook posts.
I want to bring up something let's go back to when Hora gives her like her kind of devil's like.
Yeah, her devil's advocate. Not devil's advocate, but
her devil's deal.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that the show is getting better at is motivation.
Yes.
For people becoming Another Riders.
The motivation behind all these, people accepting the Another Rider powers, that's like the best part because they're literally put in a situation where they don't really have an answer. They're at their weakest point, and these time jackers are taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
They're definitely taking advantage of that. I mean, if these people in peril like had a little bit more time to kind of rationalize everything before these time jackers get there. The time jackers purposely get there right at the aftermath of whatever happened.
Yeah.
Because
right at their emotional high.
Yeah, when their emotions are high, when they're at their most vulnerable. And I think that's great. The time jackers are probably my favorite part of this season.
That's agreed, and that's one of the things that I 100% agree with that. The time jackers are by far my favorite.
And then
things in the show.
The inclusion of Schwartz.
Oh yeah.
It's scary.
No, I love the time jackers. I think they're really a lot of fun. But you're right, and it's one of my biggest problems when Joe started was that I kind of wasn't feeling like that another build. Mm-hmm. It literally was grabbed a rando.
Yeah.
And went, "You're another rider, and because you're gonna die, is that cool?" And he's like, "Sure." And there was no real motivation. I guess I don't want to die, so sure.
Yeah. But
what's nice is that Hora and Schwartz are picking people, emotionally manipulating them, and going, "Hey, if you do this, I'll give you this, I'll give you that." So it's these last couple of Another Riders so much more interesting because they have stakes that really matter to them, and that's what I like about Kamen Rider is sometimes the bad guys are not that easy.
Remember the last time we saw that gold disintegration scene?
Yeah, they really are into that, and it hurts.
It hurts just watching.
It hurts just watching. Oh my god!
But yeah, I like also another thing I enjoyed just visually from this episode. another thing I enjoyed visually from this episode is when they're trying to change, or their henshin. It's not just like the typical like stay in one spot. A lot of the changes were happening like mid-fight.
It's cool.
Mid-fight.
I agree.
Where even some of the visual effects is pushing the another rider off of them so they can morph.
Yeah.
So just that little things like that I enjoyed. The scene where Sugo gives the watch to Gates. Mm-hmm. That was a pivotal scene because that's like a peace offering, or like, no, I want you to work with me. This is yours. I think that was great. That's perfect.
This is the stuff that's like, I feel like this is the stuff that's making me get Sugo a little better. Mm-hmm. I just, it's funny. Like, I think I'm warming up to him a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to be honest though. I do.
Layla's like, Jezzer, why did you have to remind me that he died? Let's talk about Grease.
I have to be honest though. I do feel like Sugo's actor and Gates' actor they're kind of new. You can feel that
they're fresh.
Yeah, right. You can feel they're fresh. There's a scene that Gates does his big heroic speech in front of another Faiz, and I'm just sitting there kind of going like, "Oh, kid, you're not quite there yet." Yeah,
they'll get there.
They're not. Yeah, but they right now like a little rough. I think Tsukiyomi is probably the best actress of the three.
Yes, definitely. She had a big role in this too.
She did. Yeah, actually,
she had a big role in this. Sure. She was trying to like rationalize with the girl that, hey, what's going on? It shouldn't be going on.
Yeah, no.
You have to think of. I mean, you've lived your life. You have to think of these other girls that the other build is sacrificing in order to keep you alive.
Yeah.
You know, but this is a very interesting story because a lot of the another they're making these sacrifices or they're doing these things to protect their loved ones. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I can't wait to find the Time Jackers choose a person that is not doing this for anybody, but that's just a bad person.
Yeah.
Imagine a bad person having these powers, mm-hmm. and they're gonna have to. The dynamic's gonna have to change because a lot of the times, Sugo and Gates, their main motivation is not just stopping the other build, but also saving the person within.
Right.
Imagine if it's a bad person where like that doesn't have remorse or anything. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What the dynamic will be there. So I think that's interesting. And the Time Jackers, it's inevitable that they're going to choose different types of people.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how they're going to.
There's only so many people you can. Yeah, there's only in those situations.
And there's only so many evil riders you can create in a 20 years franchise.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely intrigued with the idea of. Like, also, this is kind of nice if you're a Faiz fan. It is surprising that they actually didn't have them henshin into their rider modes, and he did not turn into Faiz. He did not turn into Kaija. Those are the Kamen Rider modes. And
we had Fourze like in the background, kind of like
then we had
his back.
We had Fourze in the background and a guy not doing a very good job of his voice, and then we have only time really we see Faiz as a writer is the flashback 2003.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think I props to them for doing what they can.
Yeah, and also holding back. Yeah. Hey, you know what
they can.
You don't need to have them every time. I mean, it'd be nice, but
I'm definitely gonna be interested to see going forward with the older seasons what they're gonna do.
Yeah, $5 super chat.
My jacket is on Justin Seats, breaking the third wall. I was wondering why he was lingering a little bit.
No. Come on.
Nice.
Show him.
Is it? I was wondering why he's lingering for a little bit.
Get your jacket and walk away.
But yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see.
You spent $5 just to do that.
It's like
you could have just asked.
$5 for the cameo, please.
Hey, can I get my jacket? Sure, dude. You dropped $5.
I'm good to show it.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
But
I mean, it's a good. I can't wait to see what they can do with the older episodes. But this was a decent episode.
Yeah.
What would you rate this? How many watches?
Out of 5 watches, I'd say this is a 4.
A 4?
It's a 4. I think if the show keeps going where it's going right now,
I agree. I do like it. It's a 4. I'll give it a 4.
Yeah. If the show keeps going where they're going, I will be the guy who was complaining about episode 1 and 2 will be totally cool if they just keep they keep doing stuff like this.
We're on the right track. Look at Gates' face. He's just like
little baby face Gates.
You know who Suga kind of reminds me of? Because I've been watching a lot of The Good Doctor. He kind of reminds me of that actor.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah,
Freddie Highmore?
Freddie Highmore. I don't know why. I don't know why.
It's that haircut.
And the mannerisms and kind of like aloof and kind of like awkward, you know. But that's just me. I
can see that. No, the haircut helps a lot.
Yeah,
and like they have very similar body
yeah,
types.
yeah.
All right. Pretty fun week.
Yeah, we had, so they got, Nightman says a 4, David says 4.5 out of 5, okay.
All right.
Cool Guy, 4 out of 5, Layla says I don't watch the show, out of 5.
You are
I love her ratings. She doesn't watch the show, yet she watches Henshin Hangout. So Layla, thank you so much for that. You're just like, it's like, I'm just watching for you guys and for Lupat.
It's so funny, like Leia's like, I'm done. I'm like, hey.
She said something else when she was rating the other episode. It was like, it wasn't a number, it was something.
Yeah.
But that's funny. Deca says 1, Blackwing 4 out of 5, Altaurus 4 out of 5, Toku 10 was things fine so far, Blackwing dials 5, stand by. And Toku says 3 out of 5, Deadass Kais.
You know, honestly, there's a good amount.
Yeah,
good amount of fours in there.
Oh, you guys.
Thank
you for watching. You know, first off, oh, hold on. Well, I'll go on. You guys can find me. It's the end of the show. We're end the show. You guys can find me at all social media at Jezzer Reyes. But my favorite part of the show, Justin, where can we find you? Justin?
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, you find me on Twitter at Quizon, Instagram right there, Justin Quiz. You can find my monthly podcast. I will. I'm not. I'm blubbering right now because I'm just seeing how you're doing this. Okay, so you can find my monthly podcast. So we have Nothing New, a remake podcast, which we will have the Halloween episode.
Ooh, McDahlia's gonna love that one.
So yes, Halloween. We're talking about John Carpenter and Rob Zombie's version, and then on our.
Like that.
Yeah, I know you should listen to our episode. She will definitely like our episode. Spoiler. Anyway, but if you also sign up for our Patreon this month, we're giving you also our talk about Halloween H2O.
Ooh, I love that one.
And Halloween 2018, because they're both movies about the return of Jamie Lee Curtis. So that's why it's our Patreon special episode. Okay. Our other podcast is Morning Word, a creative writing podcast. I do it with my friends Bobby and Nathan, and that's another monthly show we'll be doing. You can find us on Apple Podcasts as well. I have to remind my co-host of Benview on Spielberg that last episode hasn't dropped. I have to bug her. She's kind of late on that. But hey, guess what? Lumpia with a Vengeance still needs your help to be finished filming.
Lumpia.
Last week I got a chance to get a good amount of the footage finally from the film. We still need to shoot a lot more, and we need the support and help of just donating what you can to help us finish.
It's gonna be a great movie.
Get to the finish line.
Machete's in it.
He is. He's super.
Machete.
He's super funny in the clips in the footage I've seen. He's
awesome.
He's worth the price.
That's awesome.
But also we just need the money to help finish filming and finish everything else so we can get this movie ready. The goal is to get this movie for you guys next year, and you just check out Lumpia with a Vengeance. Find out how you can help support finish the movie. Any money you give to that movie be actually tax deductible. Just go to the website to find out how to make that happen. But thank you so much for that if you have been helping or just even spreading the word. But I've seen a good amount of the footage of the film. It's really exciting, and I can't wait for you guys to see the finished product. There's a sequence in this movie that I am super proud of, that I can't believe we really did it. They really filmed it, and I'm just smiling like a happy idiot. Also, don't forget my free web comic book,
Shining You Show.
It's available on Tumblr and Twitter.
That's awesome. Also, you guys, thank you for to all the people that super chat: Toku, Daniel, Balsar Galactica, and Nightman. Thank you so much. It from the bottom of our hearts, it really helps. And thank you for spending your time with us on your Saturday night for Henshin Hangout. We'll be back next week. Justin won't be back.
I won't be back.
Hopefully, you won't be back.
I won't be back next week.
But Johnny will be with us. So you guys, thank you so much for joining. Please share this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture. Night, guys.
See ya.